Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the third meeting of the Planning and Environment Committee. I'd just like to make note that our eScribe stream is not available today, but our YouTube stream is alive and well. Please check the city website for additional meeting detail information. The City of London is situated on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Lenapehoik, and Adirondack. We honor and respect the history, languages, and culture of the diverse Indigenous people who call this territory home. The City of London is currently home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit today. As representatives of the people of the City of London, we are grateful to have the opportunity to work and live in this territory. The City of London is committed to making every effort to provide alternate formats and communication supports for meetings upon request. To make a request specific to this meeting, please contact PEC, pec@london.ca, or 519-661-2489, extension 2425. At this time, I'll look for any disclosures of pecuniary interest. Seeing none, before we get to the consent items, I understand we're losing a valued member of the team to retirement, so I'd like to just go to Peter Kavchak right now for his thoughts.
Thank you, Chair, for allowing me to take some time today to celebrate and recognize Bruce Page, this guy sitting right next to me, who's retiring this Friday after an incredible 33 years dedicated to our city. Bruce's journey with the city began on a cold January 7th, 1992, where he started in city planning implementation. From there, he spent time working on parks planning implementation and policy, and most recently on the subdivision planning team as the manager. Some of his significant projects most recently include leading the Byron Gravel Pit secondary plan, the large development and guiding that at Oxford and Proudfoot, as well as guiding the London Psych Hospital lands, the rezoning of subdivision files, and coordinating enterprise-wide to make sure that that corridor a major project is designing works with the development. As Bruce embarks on this new chapter of his life, we want to wish him all the best today for the years he's dedicated to planning and development, but also this committee. Whether it was through his leadership or his mentorship to his staff, Bruce has always gone above and beyond. Bruce, thank you for 33 years of outstanding service. Your impact to our city and all of us is immeasurable, and we wish you all the best in your retirement.
Thank you, Mr. Kavchak. And yeah, 33 years ago, that snowy day, holy smokes, like that's almost like now. You know, it's a challenge as we, as certain very valued members of our team move on to the next phase of their life. And with them goes a tremendous knowledge base that we will definitely miss. I'll miss seeing you personally across the aisle here. And thank you so much for your service. That was a tremendous recollection of the most very important high-profile files that you handled over your career. And for that, I want to say thank you very much. And I wish you well in the next chapter. Moving on to consent items. I haven't heard if anyone wants any pulls, so I'll look for a motion to pass them all. Moved by Deputy Mayor Lewis, seconded by Council Hillier. And I'll open the floor now for any questions or comments. Deputy Mayor. I just want a second. We'll hold the vote off until we get through that. I'll ask the clerk to just, if you can take that off, please. Is it off? Yeah. Okay, please go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Chair. And through you, I'd like to take the opportunity. We've had a couple of communications, and so through you, perhaps Mr. Mathers can address and I think it's just basically a templating error with things that weren't changed. But in fact, the ARU CIP that's referenced in here for creating those units would not in fact preclude a proprietor for renting to a family member so long as they qualified under the eligibility status for an affordable unit. I saw a number of emails going back and forth this morning, so I'm just wondering if Mr. Mathers can clarify that.
Mr. Mathers?
Through the chair, thank you very much. So yes, there's no intention to limit this program to any specific groups, especially ones that people who want to rent to a family member at an affordable rate. So we are making a small edit to the template agreement that we'll be bringing forward to council. But for the most, so I just want to highlight this is a really exciting new program, and we're hoping that we get a lot of new affordable housing and new residential units throughout the community. So thanks for the opportunity to just mention that and to make that small correction.
Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just thought that was important as I know a couple of questions had been raised and answered by email, but just for the public record, because we're approving this today, but the $45,000 forgivable loan to create an additional unit would in fact be available to family members where the eligibility criteria otherwise line up to. So just wanted to make that clear for the record.
Thank you. Other comments or questions from committee members or visiting councilor, Councilor Ferreira? Okay, I'll just, if the committee will permit, I just have a couple of questions. Just regarding that item with the CIPs to promote additional units on, a personal home. When you're applying for the affordable unit funding, which I believe is 80% of market rent, is that correct? And depending on, if it's the Indigenous package or the other, at what point or how much oversight is there? Because I believe it's for 25 years. So will folks that sign up for this expect to have visits from city staff to seeing if they're fulfilling their end of the mandate?
Through you, Mr. Chair, the intent will be an annual occupancy report that will have something that's sent to the homeowner every year. There will be no city visits. It's just a report like an attestation that they would sign off on. And for 10 years.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Not for 25.
Okay, thank you. And I'd just like to comment briefly in the monthly housing report. Last year, we continued, exponential spike in the number of units zoned through terrific work by your team, Mr. Mathers. That is only helpful to when we see shovels in the ground, as we hear constantly, that phrase. And building permits are a big part of that. So for me personally, as chair, I'm looking to see, like in the next few years, the results of those planning numbers to transition into the building permits, because that's where we can actually look at getting our targets for the provincial targets that are set before us. So great work on handling the immense in the last year, the number of units. I think that speaks a lot to your team and the improvements that have been made in the efficiencies of getting applications through. Now within our 90-day limit. And I'm glad to see that work is being done in the building permit side, because I expect we will see, fingers crossed with, I know the economy and, governments are up in the air right now. So there's a lot, interest rates, who knows, a lot of uncertainty, but let's hope that builders build in the next coming year for the much needed housing. So such things as, I walk by on the second floor and I see the help desk there, which I think is just terrific. I think it's great for small builders as well as big developers to get the needed assistance to get them going as quickly as possible. And I know the number of changes that you've made and your team has made. So thanks everybody, and hopefully here's looking at a busy 25. If there's any other comments or questions? We have a motion moved and seconded. I'll call the vote.
Counselor Pelosa? Sorry, it didn't open for me, yes? Closing the vote, the motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Moving on to our only scheduled item, and this is regarding a demolition request at 66 Blackfire Street. So I'll look for motion to open the public participation meeting. Councillor Hillier, seconded by Councillor Pelosi, and I'll call that vote.
Closing the vote, the motion carries 4-0.
So I'll look for if the applicant is here and would like to address the committee. Please, ma'am, give us your name, and you have 5 minutes.
Oh, it is on. Yep, okay. Hi, my name's Heather Garrett. I'm with Zelenka Pramo Limited, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to explain this rather unique situation. We have 2 heritage attributes that one has essentially been destroying the other. The root system of the tree has been growing into the structure for several years. So we basically had to look at the health of the tree and then the structure of the house. So we've had 2 engineers review the structure to confirm that it basically is falling down. We don't have an option to move it. Even if we were going to try to restore it, it would mostly be built with new material because there's been so much damage, not only from the tree, but there was a previous fire. The tree, an arborist said, is one of the most rarest tree that they've ever seen. It's in very good health. So that's why we came to the conclusion to remove the structure in order to save the house, or in order to save the tree. In addition, we've been looking at through the heritage alteration permit, we will be building a new house on the property, but it will be well back. The tree will be protected and the roots won't grow into that structure at all. So I'm just basically here. If you have any more questions, I'm happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll look for the next speaker who'd like to address the committee on this item.
Someone online.
I understand there's someone online. Please give us your name, and you have 5 minutes.
Monty, on Zoom, are you able to speak to this item? He's there.
There we go. Sorry, I couldn't unmute.
Okay, we can hear you. Please give us your name, and you have 5 minutes.
My name is Monty. I'm the owner of 60 Blackfire. I'm not opposed of them building back or knocking down the house. The only thing is that I'm kind of concerned. I was just a concern of the parking facility, because we have a mutual driveway in the back, and if that's going to impact my tenants. I brought it up at the last meeting, but and the other thing is, are they going to be tearing down the garage as well, and are they rebuilding the garage? Those are the only 2 questions I really have.
Okay, thank you. I'll ask after we end our public participation meeting those questions.
No,
Thanks,
okay.
Monty. I'll look for any other speakers. Ask clerk if there's anyone online.
Yes.
Okay, I don't see anyone else, so I'll look for a motion to close the public participation meeting. Councillor Pelosi, seconded by Councillor Hillier, and I'll call that vote.
Closing the vote, the motion carries 4-0.
Okay, we did have that one question. I'll start with staff, and maybe I'll go to the applicant, but it's regarding the shared driveway in the garage.
Thank you for the question, and through the chair, the existing garage will also be demolished. And regarding the laneway, if I could refer to Figure 4 of the staff report, it clearly shows that the laneway at the very south end of the property at 66 Blackfriars is being maintained, no alteration, no building in there, and that laneway does provide access to the adjacent parcel at 60 Blackfriars Street, which was the question asked.
Yep. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, I'll put this on the floor for committee. Looking for questions or motions. Councilor Hillier?
I'll move the staff recommendation.
Okay, can I get a seconder, please? Councilor Pelosi, second. We got a motion moved in second. I'll look for questions. Councilor Ferrer, I saw your hand pop up there.
Thank you, Chair. I'm assuming committee members have said that they are not going to be commenting. I don't want to get in front of you. So I just wanted to make some comments myself. I do want to kind of point to staff and say thank you for engaging me so early on this one. Your thoughtfulness and just letting me know and answering all my questions, greatly appreciated. Definitely had me leading up to this point very aware of what's going on. Going through the report itself, I do see that there was a lot of work done, especially at the community front itself, right in Blackfriars. I do see that there's an understanding. There were concerns, with respect to like a potential demolition by neglect, and I do know the community had that, and I obviously have those concerns for any type of heritage attributes that we have. But I do see that this specific case has a lot of aspects to it that kind of, have other aspects that are not necessarily within that component, especially what I heard from the proponent itself with the tree roots kind of going into the foundation and just kind of that kind of hurting the structural integrity of the building. I understand that. And then with the fire that we had. And I do really appreciate the proponent being so open to working with us and working with maintaining any type of heritage attributes that we can have. Like, I understand that this property is not specifically individually designated. It's part of the Heritage Conservation District. But at the same time, it's one of the last examples of our Ontario cottage style housing, affordable housing that we have in the area. So I'm really big to protect that kind of stuff. I really would like to see those physical heritage attributes maintained. But I do understand that this specific situation is a very oddball. So I really appreciate that the fact that the proponent was able to kind of maintain those heritage attributes as much as they could. Really like how staff has really looked into the tree on the northeast side, the 200-year-old tree, and just kind of making that critical root zone really kind of out there and really kind of known, so we don't have that heavy machinery work in there. And then, with the handwork that we're going to have, just kind of working on the foundation and keeping that maintained and just ensuring as much as we can to maintain that 200-year-old tree. I really appreciate that. So it's interesting. We have one heritage attribute in the neighborhood affecting another heritage attribute. In this case, I would say there's some other aspects to that too. But I think it's pretty clearly laid out of the situation that we're in. And I'm really proud of Blackfriars, Petersville, the whole neighborhood, on how everyone was able to come together with a reasonable understanding and being aware of just kind of the case that we're in. And I'm really also appreciative of the type of new structure that we're proposing with the wraparound porch. And I'm really appreciative of that. And I just wanted to kind of point that out. The heritage commemoration plaque that we're going to have at the corner there, also something that I think is very good. You will see me trying to protect as many heritage attributes as possible in my ward all the time. This case, like I said, I have mixed feelings all around with it, but I do understand just kind of where we're at and the situation that we're in. We are going this way, but I think that the outcome is a very good one. So, I wanted to make those comments. Thank you to the neighborhood. I understand that a lot of groundwork went on in there, and I really, really am proud of something like this. Usually when you see a heritage demolition come up, it can go way off the rails. But this one has been very good because, the neighborhood itself, they're very aware, they're very engaged, and they're looking for a reasonable approach. So with that, I just wanted to say thank you to staff, thank you to the community, and moving forward, I will be protecting as many heritage attributes as I can, This one, we were able to protect the tree. I understand that the neighborhood is very big on protecting that tree. And the new structure that we're going to build will fit in with the whole component of the Heritage Conservation District. So those will be my comments for here, and well, I guess we'll see it at council.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other comments from committee members? We have a motion moved and seconded. I'll call the vote.
Closing the vote, the motion carries 4-0.
Okay, moving on. We don't have any items for direction. Moving on to deferred matters. There has been an added with revised deferred matters list that I hope everyone has seen in the committee. So I'll look for a motion on receiving that. Councillor Hillier, seconded by Councillor Pelosa. Any comments or questions? And we'll call that vote.
Closing the vote, the motion carries 4-0.
That concludes the business of the committee. I'll look for a motion for adjournment. Councillor Hillier, second by Councillor Pelosa. All in favor, hand vote.
Good.
Okay, now it's that.
All in favor?
Thank you, committee. The meeting is closed.